Hey again, everyone. Pastor Tom here, and I'm excited to have Elle Quinn Lincoln Key on with me here today. Very excited because she is a representative of Habitat for Humanity, and our church is actually partnering with this great organization to build a home that's on Barber Street in Ithaca, not far from the church. We are building with Habitat an affordable home for um, a actually a young family that's going to be able to move in there. We're excited because this is what God is about. This is what being a part of a church is about. So let me introduce Elle Quinn to you and ask a little bit more about Habitat for Humanity, and then we will talk about the project that we have going on. So first of all, welcome Elle Quinn to our interview together.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Hello, everybody.
You're welcome. Tell us what you do with Habitat.
I am the executive director, which means that I get to do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Um, so I the way Habitat works is it's a nonprofit, and so we utilize donations and volunteers to build simple, decent, and affordable homes for people who are in need. Um, and I always say we build for the people who take care of the people you love. You
Okay.
know, they're the CNAs, they're the housekeepers, they're the cafeteria workers. You know, they work really hard every day, and they take care of the people that we love in whatever way. And I mean, this includes people that work in industry and things like that as well.
Okay.
But they just don't have enough money to get a traditional mortgage.
Sure.
And so we utilize volunteers and donations to build simple, decent, and affordable houses. And once the home is built, they receive a mortgage that's affordable to them. And but it's wonderful. We all know that if you grow up in a home that's owned, that you will more likely
Hmm.
have a home of your own when you grow up. So it's not just about this one small nucleus of a family, but it's a generational change for a
Sure.
family. So
And so this wouldn't be called a home giveaway. Really, it's but instead it's helping someone to be able to afford their own home and pay on it like anyone would. But it helps them to be able to get into a home. And I know that Habitat over the years has had a faith connection. Am I right on that?
very true. Everything that Habitat is and does is based on biblical principles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you looked at all throughout the Bible, there were talks of interest, and we see that today with payday loans. Payday loans are not for wealthy people; they're for the lowest income, and they take advantage of those people. They were doing that back in the Bible days. And throughout the Bible, you'll have seen it where God said, "Don't take advantage of the poor. Don't do that. It's a wrong thing to do. Love the poor, take care of the poor."
Sure.
One of the things that Habitat does, every adult partner homeowner, is required to put in 250 hours of their own time into the construction and other ways with Habitat. So they start out doing other things. They might work a rock the block or work in our restore, but they work on their houses, but they also go through financial literacy training, budgeting, home maintenance, all kinds of other things that are going to prepare them for home ownership.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that goes into the culmination of them becoming a successful homeowner.
Sure.
And because they get to be part of that process, you see, if you have a piece of yourself invested in it,
Right.
you have a tendency to take better care of it. You want other people who visit to be able to take care of it as well. And we see that they find themselves linking with neighbors. They see themselves in the libraries,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with other people, volunteering at the schools, and just being invested in the community. So, but that investment started when they started building their house. So
Sure. And your organization is local, right? It's fairly close to
Yeah,
Ithaca.
we're Clinton Gratiot. We have one office in Elma, and then our Restore and main office is in St. John's. So we're really close on both ends, but we service both communities.
And how is this funded? I know that we are providing labor and we're providing lots of love, and but how is it funded to help out, to be able to afford and build this house?
Well, we count on donations,
Okay.
just like almost any other nonprofit. We do have our Restore, which helps fund some of that as well. But it also, our Restore helps to fund things like our insurance, because we have volunteer insurance, and we have, insurance for our trailers and our tools, and things like that. So our Restore helps cover those type of items as well. But really, it's donor driven.
Okay.
And a lot of people probably don't know this, but Habitat is international, and we actually tithe 10% of our unrestricted funds. Now, if somebody said, I'm going to give you $100
Right.
and I want it to go toward the Ithaca build, that's a restricted fund. But if somebody said, here's $100, that's unrestricted. So 10% of that goes to fund the Habitat program in other countries where they can't fundraise. Places like Haiti and Bangladesh and, all over the world. It seems like it's 85 countries, I think, we're working in.
Well,
the neat thing is 100% of our tithe goes straight directly to whichever country we select.
okay.
And so the neat thing about that is Habitat International doesn't take any overhead for that. So 100%. So we always say for every 2 houses that we build here in Clinton and Gratiot County, we build a house in Bangladesh because of our tithe.
Wonderful.
And so it's really quite wonderful to, to know that we are part of a worldwide ministry that sees how important housing is as a basis, as the core to helping a family out of poverty and helping them achieve many other great things in their lives.
Great. Well, let's talk more specifically about the build that we are working. I say we, the Ithaca Church of God, is in partnership with Habitat, and our folks are literally going to be building this house that's just about a half a block away from the church on Barber Street. So at this point, it's been some kind of foundational or early on work that's been going in on the house. Tell us so far what's been taking place.
So we have we utilize for the first time. This is our first time that we're using this program, but the foundation is done with this insulated system where we lay basically styrofoam down for the footings, and then we brace that. And so now our footings have been poured, so the concrete's in the middle of the insulation there. And so then we're doing the plumbing work, which goes underneath the slab. Once that's done, once the plumbing's in, we're going to lay 2-inch styrofoam down, and then the concrete will go over the top of that. So it'll be an insulated concrete floor. And then we raise walls, put a roof on, enclose it, and man, oh man, it starts looking like a house.
Wow.
So,
and are there experts then that are hired in or help?
Yep. Yes, we do. We do subcontractors for, like electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. So if you have an electrician, we may be in need of one. Our person that we had already that was planned on it may not be able to get in there as fast as we need to. So that's a possibility. But we are shooting for the second weekend in September to have it the wall raising. And so it will be a Saturday, Sunday build date.
Okay.
We'll start, I think we start at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's either 7 or 7:30, but I can double check with that.
Okay.
We don't get there at 7 and 7:30 and start drinking coffee and then start at 9. I mean, we're ready to go at 7 o'clock. But on that Saturday, we will raise the walls, put trusses up, and hopefully get the roofing on. Day 2, we will be doing insulation, siding, windows, and doors. So in 2 days' time, we're going to go from a slab to an enclosed house.
Wow.
So that's where we need you guys.
Yes.
And we need people who know what they're doing and people that don't know what they're doing.
Okay.
Because, it's just like, too many chefs in the kitchen spoil the soup.
Right.
You need somebody that you can say, can you go peel some carrots for me?
Sure.
So you need somebody where you can say, can you hold this wall for me? And I'm going to drill this hole and I'm going to do this. So you need just as many of each. So, and this is a great opportunity for somebody who says, I'm thinking about buying a house that I might need to fix up. I'd kind of like to know a little bit
Okay.
more about stuff. One of the neatest things that Habitat has done for a lot of people is it's allowed them some on-the-job training
Sure.
that they may not have gotten otherwise. So for free.
Right. Okay. So if you're listening in and you're hearing this for the first time, again, Ithaca Church of God is building a house with the expertise of Habitat for Humanity. We're very excited because, again, this is what we are about as a congregation. We talk about our core values of loving God, loving one another, and loving our community. This is exactly who we are. But so far, just a smaller group of people have been needed to do some of the work thus far. But again, the second weekend in September, the numbers of helpers is really going to increase, right? We're going to need
Yes.
a lot more.
Yes. Each day.
What's that?
Each day.
Each day. Okay.
Yeah. You don't
So
want
that
100
would,
people to show up day 1 and then 3 to show up day 2.
okay.
So each day we need to have, somewhere between 35 and 50 people.
Okay. And again, that's a Saturday.
Yeah,
And
Saturday and a Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And again, as a congregation, I'm really excited because we are still going to worship on that Sunday. Some of us are going to be worshiping in the building, but some are going to be worshiping by building a home. And so we're going to have kind of some live, like via Zoom, we're going to have call-ins to the service. It's going to be a really cool thing. So I'm hoping that our whole church, one way or another, is either in the building or at the build. Or if you cannot come out, we understand you can. You'll be able to see what's happening on our recorded service as well. So all ages probably can help out. I mean, within reason. You wouldn't be able to have too young of a
Right.
of a child.
18,
What is
actually, when we have, especially those 2 days, it has to be 18 or older.
Okay.
And that has to do with insurance issues and liabilities and power tools and things like that. So on those 2 days specifically, 18 and older.
Okay.
So
and again, it's if you have experience, you will certainly be needed, your expertise. But if you're someone like me and doesn't know next to anything about any of that, you are still welcome to be there and actually needed to be there, because there will be things for you to be able to do. And also there's a need for people to cook as well, right? To supply
yes.
some food.
Yep.
How does that work?
So typically, we look for people who are willing to bring lunches,
Okay.
potentially dinners, depending on how late we work that Saturday.
Okay.
But things as simple as sloppy joes, or stuff that is pretty easy to eat. If you have 35 people, hot dogs,
Okay.
things like that. Hot beef sandwiches.
Okay.
We've even had just regular sandwiches, pizza, whatever. I'll tell you one thing that's always appreciated is cookies, brownies,
Okay.
snack foods, those kinds of things. And then I know you're that close, so it's something that maybe we could even take a break and have lunch down at the church.
Okay.
Or, if you want to have it at the site, that works too. But
Sure.
But yeah, that's a neat thing, because you know what? I'm not ever getting up on a roof. I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
just don't want to be up there. I get the willies.
Sure.
But you know what? I certainly can bake the best chocolate chip cookies in the
Right.
universe. And
Okay.
so if that's my gift, that's what I want to give,
Sure.
and so that's why there's a place for everybody. The other thing is let's say you can't do either of those. The best thing that you can do is pray for us.
Mm.
Pray for the safety, pray for good weather when we need it, pray for, all of the inspections, and that we can move through things timely, that the subcontractors can get in there, and so that this family, we would love to see them in by Christmas.
Mm.
That would
Okay.
be one of the most amazing things. So all of those things are needed for our build to be successful. The last thing I want to say is when the house is done, we have a house dedication.
Mm.
And that happens prior to the homeowners moving in. And it allows people to come in and see what the community did.
Okay.
What
Okay.
did the church build? What did this
Sure.
community build?
Mm-hmm.
And be able to see simple, decent, and affordable. But it also is an opportunity for everyone to be able to understand that this is a ministry. And so it's where we bless the house.
Mm.
So if you wouldn't mind, I'm putting you on the spot here, Pastor.
Sure. Would love
If
to.
they don't have, if they don't have a minister, if you would be willing
Right.
to do that house blessing on that day, I think it would be an absolute amazing
Mm.
finality
Sure.
to that. And it's blessing, the living room where family time can begin, blessing the kitchen where
Mm.
tummies can be fed, and those kinds of things. But it puts that perspective back on, this is God's ministry.
Right.
And we're all part of it. It
Sure.
is our faith in action that allows us to do
Right.
this. And it's our way of being able then to show people this is what our faith in action does.
And I would love to take part in that. So the family that is going to be moving in there has literally been there and helping out. Am I right on that?
Almost every day.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And
They
they've been
come
able.
and take care of the lawn when no one else is there as
Okay.
well. So
They've been able to get to know our people that have been working there, and so a relationship has been starting. So what about from this point on until that second weekend in September? There's still daily work that needs to happen, right? And
yep.
you still need
Well,
help.
not every day.
Okay.
So our next scheduled work date is next Wednesday.
Okay.
So a week from yesterday.
Okay.
Part of that is we have to wait sometimes for specific equipment or
right.
for
Okay.
subcontractors to get some things done.
Okay.
So once we, and typically what we do is we, when the guys are on the site, or the guys and gals, I should say, are on the site, and they'll say, "Are we working tomorrow?" And then we, figure out if we're working or not. What we can do every day, also, we have a Facebook page, but we can just every day update that. We won't be working tomorrow at the Ithaca site, or we will be, and then that's an easy way to tap in. So,
all right, and we can put it on our site as well. And thank you for what you do in your life and the way that God has led you to this ministry, and for you to say yes to that, to God's calling. And it's a real privilege for us to be able to join together with you and your organization and ministry. And we are excited just to be part of what God is doing, and to think that there is going to be a new house in Ithaca, and actually a family that will be moving in from a surrounding community. They'll actually be moving here into Ithaca to, become members of our community. We're just so excited to be a part, and thank you. And we will touch base with you again, and just kind of keep progress of where we're at.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You
and
are
thank
welcome.
you for the whole church. We've enjoyed having you guys.
Great.
You're just a ball of fun.
All right. Thanks. And we'll talk again. All right.
All right. Thank you,
all right.
dear.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.